So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at a couple of the more complex types of circuit. So things like the loop circuits, conditional circuits and single-use circuits. We're going to rattle through these pretty quickly because I assume that you know the basics of redstone. If you don't, you might want to watch the other how-to videos first. The only thing that I think we might not have covered is the use of redstone repeaters. So I'm just going to explain them really quickly first because they're kind of key to what we're going to do here. Redstone repeaters have got a couple of uses. The first is to extend how far the current can be carried along the redstone. If I put a big long line of redstone along here, you'll see that by the time we've got to here, it's not lit up anymore, it's not carrying current anymore. It kind of runs out, where does it stop puffing? About here. So by this point it's not really getting very much more current. Now a redstone repeater can boost the signal further along. So if you put one in, it'll shoot it off for another, I think it's 15 blocks that it carries it. If we look a little bit at the redstone repeater, you'll notice it's got a big triangle on the top. That indicates direction. These are directional. So you put it in so the triangle's facing the way you want the current to flow. So if I've put it in that way, so it's shooting it along. If I put it in backwards by accident, if I put it in facing that way, you'll see that the rest of it doesn't light up because it's not pushing the current forward. The arrow's pointing back, so it's pushing the current back along its way. Same as if I put it in sideways, it's not going to work. Because it's directional, the only way it will carry circuit on is if you have the arrow pointing the right way. Now, the other thing that a redstone repeater does is it can add delay. So I've got a block, I've got a lever. If I hit the lever, the light lights up and it's pretty instantaneous. What you can do with redstone repeaters is, I'll put the redstone repeater in. Once it's down, if you L2 it, you'll see that switches back. There's 3 positions, so the 0, 1, 2, 3. Each of those adds a little bit of delay, so that's no delay. That's 1 click of delay, 2 clicks of delay, 3 clicks of delay. So if I put a couple of these in at 3 clicks, which is the maximum, you saw that that side was significantly before that side. So when you switch it, each of those delay, delay, delay on. So it's a good way for differentiating bits of your circuit or making certain bits of your circuit slower. So let's just bear that in mind. Let's look at the first thing we want to use them for. Loop circuits. Now what I've got set up here looks a bit messy at first, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hover over it and we're just going to have a little look at what's going on here. So we've got a button powering the block which will send current to this bit of redstone. Now this will come here and you can see that the arrow's pointing that way, so it'll push circuit on that way, but it won't allow circuit to come back. It won't allow current to come back, sorry. So once it gets to here, it's on a one-way journey. Once the pulse from the button gets to here, it's going one way only, it's going this way. Now, when it comes here, the current will try and go that way, but again, we've got a redstone repeater in saying that, nuh-uh, the current can only go this way. So it's not going to go back along here, it can only go forward. So the current will come along here. This redstone repeater is pushing the current into this light. Now when the light lights up, it actually conveys current as well, so that will then push current through to this bit of circuit here. And as it comes back along here, you'll see these redstone repeaters are all pointing this way, so the current can only come this way once it gets to this point. And these are all on 3 ticks, they're all on maximum delay. If we come down, you can see they're all maximum delay. So once the current gets to here, it's going to go slowly through this bit, and then it's coming to here. And again, because all the arrows are pointing this way, it can't go back on itself at any point. So the current's going to push itself out here, and then it can only go one way. It can't go back that way because the redstone repeater's pointing this way. It can only go back into the light. So what we should see when we push the button here is the circuit coming round here, through the light, through this series of delay, back to here, through the light. So what we should get is a flashing light. Now let's see if it works. So if we push the button, you saw the current goes to there, And if I just stay quiet and you sort of like watch that for a second, it should hopefully make sense to you. The light's definitely flashing, and it's because what we've done there is we've set up a one-way loop with our redstone repeaters. So it's coming through here, it's coming through the delay, it's sending it back to there. If I put a little bit of extra delay on here, that should make it flash slower, like so. And you can make it flash slower still by putting extra delay in. So by adding extra maximum delayed redstone repeaters in, you can make it flash slower. Now that's just a flashing light. There's other things you could use it for. You could have a dispenser in there with a bigger delay chucking out food, so it's like an automatic dispensing system. You could have it for a piston for an obstacle course or something, so it's a piston that continuously fires and pushes maybe rocks together that you've got to make your way through. So there's a couple of things just off the top of my head. I mean, you can use it for all sorts really, but that's how you do an infinite loop circuit. Now if you've just set it up like this, the only real way to stop it is to pull out one of the bits of redstone. That'll stop it, you can put it back in, and then you can set it away again. But that requires that you've got the circuit somewhere you can get to it. Another option is to have part of this circuit with a block that you can pull in and out with a piston. So when you pull the block out, it breaks the circuit. When you flip the lever, it pushes the block back in, and then you can hit the button and it starts the circuit again. If that didn't make sense to you, hold fire, because it should do shortly. Okay, so conditional circuit. Now what I want here is this light is only going to light up if both of these levers have been pressed. So this is, for example, in a battle dome where you don't want the doors to open until both combatants are ready. You give each of them a lever and they pull it when they're ready. When both of them have pulled the levers, the doors are open and they can go for it. Okay? So what we've got here is, it's pretty straightforward. The lever powers the block, which powers this current, which pushes a piston. Now this piston is a sticky piston, so it'll push it and pull it back with itself, and so is the other one. So both of those, the levers just power these pistons, which push the quartz blocks out. But then this bit is the important bit. We've got a redstone torch providing continuous power to this bit of redstone. So if we say I'm this person and I hit this lever, it pushes the block out. That redstone's now powering this block, which is powering this redstone repeater. Okay, so if we now push this lever, the other combatant's ready, that pushes that out, so the redstone repeater is powering the block, which is powering the redstone repeater, which is sending the current to the lamp. Now, the current coming to the lamp has got nothing to do with the current being produced by these levers. The current that's coming to the lamp is coming from this torch, which is always on. Okay, can you see that? That's a straight line through the blocks, through the redstone repeaters, to the torch. To the lamp, sorry. If one of these combatants changes their mind and says, oh crap, I'm not ready, and takes it off, it'll break the circuit, it won't open the doors, it won't turn the light on, or whatever. So it requires both conditions to be met in order for the light to light up. Now you can have it with as many conditions, levers, buttons, switches, whatever, as you want. You can have it as to set up a puzzle, you can have it as a treasure hunt where they've got to find however many levers and hit them all in order to get the dispenser to spit out a prize. It's got a couple of uses, but this is what I was saying about you can complete a circuit by using a piston to push a block. So you'd hit that, it pushes the block out, it completes the circuit, and the circuit works. Okay, now hopefully that made sense. If not, feel free to ask questions at the bottom of the video. The last thing we're going to look at here is a single-use circuit. I'm just going to have a super fast nap because this is the trickiest of the three, so probably it'll help if we do it during the daytime. Novel idea, being able to see what you're doing. Whee! Okay, single-use circuits. Now, I like these a lot. These are my favourite thing. And what we've got here is, if we disregard this bit at the minute, in fact, I'll take this out completely at the minute, and we'll put it back in a second. Let me just grab another quick thing out so I can put it back in a second. It's a piston. Okay, so what we've got here, bearing in mind what we've just seen for the conditional circuit, we've got a torch powering the redstone repeater, which you can see when this block is pushed will complete this circuit, which will make the light light up. So the block's going to get pushed, it's going to light up, it's going to light up the lamp. And you can see that the piston is going to push that when this plate is stepped on. So if we step on this plate, pushes the block, the lamp lights up. Awesome, right? Now the trick here is, you want the light, once you've stepped on it, you want the light to stay on. So when you step off it, because it's just a normal piston, it doesn't pull it back with it. So that has put the block of sand there, it's pushed the light on, but it doesn't matter now how many times you stand on this plate, it's not going to turn off, it's locked on, for want of a better word. Sheepy, you are interfering with my zen. So, that doesn't seem like much use, Claire, I might hear you saying, for the lamp. But what it is useful for is one-way doors. So if you had a metal door there that you wanted, once you stepped on it, to be open all the time, let the monsters in, let people out, whatever. But what I tend to use it mostly for is dispensers. Single-use reward systems. So you finished an obstacle course, for example, and you're going to get a certificate or a prize for completing the obstacle course. So what's a good prize? Let's stick a diamond sword or two in there. Let's have a couple of diamond swords in there. Now, we know from past experience people are greedy. So if you've got a prize dispenser at the end, even if the dispenser's hidden behind something, so let's hide that behind something. Let's hide it behind... I think it'll still work if I put obsidian in front of it. So let's say we've put the obsidian there, so you can only get to it from the back. So you have a secret way into the back, you can fill it up from the back, but you don't want them to be able to get to it from the front there. I'll put the swords in, didn't I? Right. So they press the button, or pull the lever, or step on the pressure plate, or whatever to release their prize. The circuit completes, it spits out a prize, and think, awesome, I got a diamond sword, I want another one, let's step on it again. They can step on it as many times as they want. The dispenser's now locked open, and a dispenser only works when it receives a pulse. So because it's locked open, that isn't going to get any more prizes let out of it until the circuit's reset. Now, obviously this is all above ground, so it's not indicative. I would have all the circuitry hidden below ground, so just for aesthetics. But what you can do is you can also set up a reset. And to do that, let me just pull the sand out real quick. To do that, we're just going to put a circuit there, a piston there, with a little bit of circuit. I don't have a pressure plate out. That's not helpful, is it, guys? Right, okay. Pressure plate. Let's put the block of sand back in. Okay, so this will be your prize reward. So you stand on that as you come out the obstacle course, or the winner or whatever. You get your prize, you can stand on it again, it's not going to give you anything else. Yeah, nothing else. Until you, the boss, pulls your lever or steps on your release plate, or what you can do is you can have a one-way door here, so a metal door here with a button on one side and not on the other, so they can get out, and as they come out they run over the reset switch, but they can't get back into the room to trigger the prize again. I hope that made sense. Maybe I should do it for you. And that might make more sense. Novel idea, actually showing you what I'm talking about instead of just burbling on. Who'd have thought? And let's just have some quick pillars. And bomb, 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 bomb. And door. Button. Okay. So obviously in this case the prize dispenser would be over next to here somewhere, rather than over that way. But you would get your prize dispensed. That's locked the dispenser open. You've got your prize. You can't trigger it again. You run out through the door, one-way door. And as you run out, you automatically run over the reset switch. So that's reset for the next person to use, but you can't get back in to get the prize again. Okay, so that's single-use circuits. If you've got any questions, ask them below. I'm aware I went through all those three quite quickly. I didn't want to bore you. You should be, if you're setting these things up, you should be pretty familiar with how circuits work. If you've got any questions, just ask. We'll answer them. That's it for this episode. That was Minecraft How To. I'm Claire for the Angels. If you liked this video, please like, share and comment. You can follow us on Twitter, Tumblr or Facebook, or subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching!